Let's check out Week 11 NFL waiver wire finds for your fantasy team. Let's get straight to it. We're talking quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and a sneaky tight end for your fantasy lineup. First up at quarterback, Russell Wilson. Coming off a strong 18.1 fantasy points week in Week 10, Wilson led Pittsburgh to victory with 3 touchdowns, the first Steeler to do that since Big Ben in 2021. With a knack for spreading the ball around, Wilson's got 5 different Steelers catching touchdowns from him. With a fantasy-friendly schedule up ahead and a juicy matchup against the Ravens defense that allows tons of QB fantasy points, Wilson's a solid QB2 with a high upside. Moving on to running backs, we've got Audric Estime from the Broncos. Now, Denver's running a 3-man backfield, but Estime's role is on the rise. He led in snaps, touches, and fantasy points in Week 10. If he keeps this up, especially those red zone carries, Estime is a strong stash for deeper leagues. With the Falcons defense next up, he's worth a pickup. Also at running back, Gus Edwards. Yes, the first of a few Chargers today. He's fresh off IR and jumped right into action with 10 carries for the Chargers in Week 10. With Dobbins also in the mix, the Chargers backfield is now a committee, but Edwards led the team in rushing yards and knows Greg Roman's scheme inside and out. Teams needing running back depth, this is your guy. On to the wide receivers. First off, it's Quentin Johnson from the Chargers. He's been making every target count, racking up points over the last few weeks. With 5 touchdowns in just 7 games and matchups against the Bengals, Ravens, and Falcons coming up, Johnson is a high upside add for any team. Need another wideout? Try Xavier Leggett from the Panthers. With Deontay Johnson moving to the Ravens, Leggett is primed to step up as a fantasy flex. Bryce Young doesn't throw much, but Leggett's steady 5.6 targets per game and an easy schedule make him a solid stash for Week 12 after the Panthers bye. And finally, don't sleep on the tight ends. Will Dissly is back on the radar in the committee, but leading in snaps and targets, Dissly has surprisingly ranked 4th in tight end targets over the past 4 weeks. With the Chargers leading more on the pass game and a favorable schedule ahead, he's the under-the-radar tight end pickup you didn't know you need. All right, that's a wrap on your top Week 11 waiver wire finds. Add these guys and get ready to dominate. Also, don't forget, subscribe, rate, and review, and comment below. Do you agree with these? We'll see you next week.